Hey everyone, Pollywog here, and today I'm going to show you how to make your own pressed leaf bookmarks. So in your kit, you've got a piece of contact paper. This is clear contact paper. And then you've also got some random leaves that I found around Thrive. And you'll see that they're all different colors and they're all different kinds. You have different styles of leaves in your kits, from different trees. But I do want to mention there are a lot of leaves in your kit, but you are also welcome to go and explore and get more leaves from your backyard, from the park. Just talk to your parents and ask them if that's okay. This is a really fun project. They make really good gifts. They last a really long time. I actually have a few that I made like 5 or 6 years ago that are still in great shape. I've gifted them to a lot of people, so they make a really fun, easy to do craft. And we're gonna go ahead and get started. So I'm gonna go ahead and tilt my camera down so you can see my hands working. Okay, so you can see that I've got all my leaves sitting over here, and then I've also got my contact paper here. Now, you might see that there are words on your contact paper right here that say peel off, and that's because we will be peeling that off eventually. This is basically like tape almost. Contact paper is really cool. It kind of like laminates whatever you're going to be working on, so it seals it in. So this shiny side you see here, that's what the outside is going to look like, and when we peel it away from the paper, it's just going to be clear. But we're not going to peel it off quite yet. I wanted to show you how this is a grid, and it makes it really easy to fold things really nicely, and that's what we're going to be doing today. So you need your leaves from your kit, your contact paper from your kit, and your pair of scissors. So to start off with, you need to decide which way you want to make your bookmark. I would like to make a couple of bookmarks out of this piece of paper, contact paper, so I'm going to be folding it this ways. If you wanted to make just maybe one or two, you could fold it long ways, but because I know most books aren't super giant that I read, I'm going to be folding it this way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one end of the contact paper, and then I'm going to come and bring it up, and using these lines, that's how I'm going to fold it. So I'm going to try and line it up with one of those red lines, and then I'm going to fold. And when I fold, I'm making a crease. And I'm doing this to make it a little bit easier for the next part of the project. Now when I cut it, normally when I cut things like this, I would want to cut right along the line. Now you can do that, but to be safe and to make sure I don't have too little contact paper, I'm actually going to cut about in the middle of this square that was right next to the line. And that's just so I have a little bit extra contact paper in case I need to seal up my edges. Now, when we peel this off, it is going to be very, very sticky. So you just want to be careful and make sure you're working in the right space. And then you're going to come to one of the corners, and the peeling part can be a little bit tricky. You might need to ask a parent for help with this. I find that I can get it usually if I try and get my fingernail up between the two things. Almost have it. I can see it. There we go. So when I pull off the contact paper, you can see it is clear. So that's what I meant by just be careful that you don't have, and it's sticky. Just be careful that you don't have a lot of things around you, around your workspace. And that is because things will stick to this. So if you have a bunch of little pieces of string, or if you have, I don't know, a bunch of glitter or something like that, it'll stick to your paper. So I went ahead and put something underneath mine just to make it a little bit easier. Here, we'll do it that way. Just to make it a little bit easier to see where I'm working. Now, we did fold this in half. And to make it easy, I'm going to put my piece of paper that I peeled off back on half of my contact paper. And that's so I know to only stick stuff on one side, because if I stick stuff on both sides and then try and stick it together, it's not going to stick that well. So now I'm working with just, so you can see, this one part of the contact paper. And now this part's really easy. I'm just going to take my leaves and I'm just going to push them down onto the contact paper, and you can see that they stick pretty well. And I'm just going to keep going from there. So I'm just going to decorate it however I want with however many leaves I want. And it's sticky, so you don't need glue, you don't really need scissors other than for that initial step of cutting out your contact paper. You could also just make it a whole sheet if you wanted to. These look really pretty hanging up in the windows. They look really nice as bookmarks. There's really no wrong way to utilize this contact paper. And there's really no wrong way to set up your leaves. So you can always look at what it looks like by turning it over to that side. And you're just going to put down however many leaves you would like. So I'm going to just do one more little guy right here. And now it's time to seal up the other side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to peel off this part that I had to help me. And now I'm just going to take this other side and I'm going to pull it up and over. Now I want to make sure that it's going to reach to the other side. So I like to bring it over and then come back and push it all down. And when I push it down, I'm just going to flatly push and seal it. And you'll see any little spots that need to be sealed, and you can just go with your finger and press it down. Now when it comes to around the leaves, if you have leaves that have really big stems or anything like that, you might need to go in and push it down around there with your fingers. Ideally, when it's all done, it should look something like that. Now if you have a little bit of sticky spot on the back, you can either trim it, which is what I'm going to do, or if you have a good amount, you can just fold that piece over. I had a really small little sliver here on the side, so I took the liberty to just go ahead and cut it off instead of sealing it. And then I'm just going to make sure my edges are all nice and sealed. And that is how you make your own pressed leaf bookmark. Now, if you have a lot of leaves that are super curly and you need to actually press them down, what I recommend doing is getting a hardcover book and putting the leaves inside the book, leaving them there for about a day or two, and then they'll be nice and flat when you're ready to work with them. All right, everyone, that's it for me. This is one of my favorite fall activities, and I hope you enjoy it so much. I'll see you for the next mini lesson.